which I am. But I'm going to talk to somebody who's not a middle-aged man. He is young and cool and hip, Jacob Airy, and he's going to help get us through this time of Corona restrictions. And part of that is he's going to recommend some great movies. But first, we're actually going to talk about the PC police infecting superheroes. And Jacob Airy, by the way, he's really not just a movie reviewer, more of a culture critic, I guess I would say, writes sometimes for Daily Wire and other publications. He is a friend of the show, has been on before, and I always mention this because I just love his Twitter profile. He says, Christian, conservative, American, Texan, nerd. And that's about all you need, isn't it, Jacob?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me back.
Of course. All right. So even the superheroes, right, are being infected by the politically correct police. And I'm speaking specifically about Marvel Comics. We talked about this issue of the PC culture and the PC police in comics recently with Doug TeNapel, who was telling us, and he's facing it, and unfortunately in a very serious way, as are some of his colleagues, where they're literally trying to, the whole cancel culture issue of if you don't completely buy into our entirely sort of woke agenda, you can't even be creative in this business. So, there it's not a funny aspect, but this aspect I do think is funny in some ways, sad in others. They are introducing Marvel Comics. And if you're not into comics, this is, the giant of comics, one of them anyway, in terms of a company. They are introducing new non-binary superhero characters, one of them named Snowflake and Safe Space. Now, when I saw this, I said, it's got to be a joke, right? This is a conservative making fun of them, obviously, right? This is Babylon Bee or The Onion. No, this is for real. Marvel Comics is introducing non-binary superhero Snowflake and also Safe Space. So, Jacob, what do you make of this?
I think it's Marvel doubling down on all the wrong things. They tried to go the woke route a couple of years ago. They did this storyline called Secret Empire, where Captain America became a Nazi sleeper agent.
Right.
And it was just ridiculous and silly, and they made Thor a woman. Nothing wrong with women superheroes, but we all know Thor is a male character, and so on and so forth. So I think this is just them doubling down. It's such a shame because I actually read The New Warriors, which is where these two characters are going to be. I read them in the 90s. They were a fantastic team of superheroes, diverse in the right way, great, strong female characters, great diversity that wasn't forced. And so it's such a shame that now they're doing the forced stuff with these two ridiculous characters, Snowflake and Safe Place. What's really crazy is the guy who was doing the announcement video, you can tell he doesn't really believe in what he's writing. He's just kind of smiling the whole time. He's like, I'm just doing this for the paycheck.
Right.
So that was kind of humorous.
Well, speaking of the paycheck, I wanted to ask about that. I mean, look, doesn't Captain America sells, right? When he's being Captain America, when he's being what we want a superhero to be, which is, by the way, an exaggeration, of course, right? We know it's not real. Isn't that the whole point? But, like, is this going to sell these superheroes, Snowflake and Safe Space? I mean, aren't they stepping on their, tripping over themselves here in terms of a commercial enterprise?
I honestly think the first issue will sell because people will buy it out of curiosity. That always happens with #1 issues, which is why Marvel does so many. But then after that, I think the sales are going to drop. We saw this when Dark Horse did the Ocasio-Cortez comic book. The first issue, they bragged, it broke records, it sold so many copies. Issue 2, it dropped off by something like 60%. So, and right now in comic books, if you look at the sales, what's selling is old stuff. There's a great storyline by Jeff Loeb called Batman Hush. That's been back in the market because they released an anniversary collector's edition of it. And I think that's kind of funny because Batman Hush happened right before the politically correct NSJW storyline started to seep in.
Okay, interesting. All right, listen, but I mainly tease you as a movie person, and that's what we want to talk about because a lot of people have a lot of time inside. So up next, we're going to get movie recommendations from Jacob Airy. So Jacob, let's talk about movies for people who have time. I want to start with baseball movies because we're supposed to be playing baseball right now, or opening day is supposed to be pretty shortly. Obviously not going to happen on time, but I want to hear your pick for the best baseball movie ever, and then I'll tell you the correct answer. You go first.
Well, I don't know about the best ever, but my personal favorite is Trouble with the Curve, starring Clint Eastwood and Amy Adams. I love that film. I really think it captures, the baseball spirit and how how long it has endured as a sport and why it's important. Baseball is my favorite sport. I played baseball in high school and I loved it. And so yeah, that's one of my favorite. Clint Eastwood, of course, does a dynamite performance in it.
He is
Amy
great.
Adams, she's lovely as well. She plays his daughter in the film.
Right. No, that is a great film. I'm glad you brought that one up, but I'd forgotten about it. That's good, but the correct answer is The Rookie with Dennis Quaid, which I love. And I'm not sure
amazing film.
I'm not sure that it's like cinematically great. I don't know, but I love the story, and I love that it's basically a true story too, which is pretty stinking heartwarming. And I'm a sucker for those. Okay, outside of baseball though, give us some other movie picks, please.
Well, if you have Disney Plus and you're looking for a family film, I recommend Stargirl. They just uploaded it. It's really sweet. It's enduring. It's one, if you have little kids, they might be bored by it, but it's great if you have kids who are like 12 and older. It's about kind of this eccentric girl who starts going to this high school, and she just kind of wows the school because she's very talented and musical and whatnot. It really shows how one person can impact an entire group of people. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was very nice, very lovely, and it's clean. Parents, you don't have to worry about it. You can sit down and enjoy it with your kids.
So that's family friendly and on Disney Plus.
Right.
Okay, great. All right, please keep going, Jacob Berry. Some more recommendations.
On Netflix, now this is for mom and dad, especially if you like kind of true crime stories. I recommend Lost Girls, starring Amy Ryan. It's about the girls who were identified as victims of the Long Island serial killer, who has still not been identified, even as they make the film. It's very suspenseful. Amy Ryan is fantastic in it. She plays one of the moms of the girls who goes missing. She does a fantastic job in it. It really ramps up the suspense, and you really feel the frustration as they are trying to solve the mystery of the Long Island serial killer. I highly recommend it. Like I said, this one is for mom and dad.
Sure.
It's got some violent content and whatnot.
And this is a true story? It's a real serial killer in Long Island?
It's a real serial killer, and Amy Ryan plays one of the real mothers who she has passed away since, but she was heavily involved in trying to solve the mystery of his identity.
Wow. Okay. I think I'm going to put that in the hopper. And how about, do we have one more?
For Hulu, this is another one that the whole family can enjoy. It's called Missing Link. It's made by Leica Studios, and it's about this explorer who's voiced by Hugh Jackman, who discovers Bigfoot, and then they go on this kind of adventure together. And it's really fun. It's got some great humor. Hugh Jackman delivers some hilarious one-liners in it. It is a little violent, but it is suitable, I think, for parents who have younger kids. I think they'll get a lot of enjoyment out of it.
Okay, excellent. Well, listen, Jacob Berry, we so appreciate this because, as I said, a lot of people have a lot of time at home suddenly, and I know a lot of parents, I'm certainly one of them, don't want their kids only on screens, but clearly some of this time, some of this downtime is going to be on screens, and so we want to see stuff that's entertaining, and also for parents who are concerned about the appropriateness of content, that's also great to hear about it. You always do such a good job with your movie reviews, and I should say more just culture reviews, really, so please follow Jacob Berry. It's at Real Jacob Berry, AIREY. And Jacob, so appreciate you being with us today. Thank you.
Thanks for having me on. I had a great time.
Of course.